Hello, everyone. I hope you're enjoying your wonderful, blessed morning and evening as well. Sorry, guys, for exactly shooting this late. I was exactly writing more and more characters and more new supervillains and old and new supervillains as well for my new book that I'm exactly adding that I'm continuing to exactly go on with. And as well, guys, I was exactly working universe and as well continue to write more new powerful villains and new superheroes and deadliest criminals and other powerful associates of these ancient secret societies of the intergalactic coalition of the universal heroes, stuff like that as well for my new book, and in order for you guys to also as well to know more about them and about the history, and about the history and about their goals as well. Excuse me. Despite that, guys, I'm very superly grateful for your support in watching and in viewing my episodes. It gratefully, completely means a lot to me. From all of you who are watching shorts and from all of you who are watching videos, God bless you all. Have a wonderful, blessed weekend. I will see you on Monday. You won't be able to receive today's long video today. Those of you who actually thinking will be able to receive it, or I'll be able to upload it on Monday, which will be able to receive on Monday. But for those of you who are watching shorts, you'll receive the shorts of the video. So let's get right onto it. On today's episode, we're to talk about a very, very formidable and deadly assassin and supervillain known as Dark Water, who is a high-ranking member of a sacred international shadowy criminal organization known as the Order of Darkness that wants to restore power to the sacred world, to the sacred universe, and to the known universe, and to planet Earth, and to the rest of humanity. In order for them to pave the way, for an ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Founders, so they can remain the sole rulers of the cosmos and of the rest of sacred existence in the process to further their ultimate plans and goals as well. Despite this, Darkwater believes in the goals and in the ideals and the idealism of the Order of Darkness, and is willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that those goals bear fruit by any means necessary. So let's begin. In Darkwater's early life, he was born on the other worlds. He was born on the other worlds and secretive villages that were completely ravaged by war, by powerful dark magic users known as the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful, who besieged the entire villages with their dark magic powers. And Darkwater witnessed the demise and the death of his people and at their very, very hands, realizing that these powerful dark magic users are very powerful and are very, very skillful and are very, very skillful and are very, very completely immortal beings. And he vowed to exactly not to exactly exact his revenge or anything else, but rather to join forces with them in order to understand their powers and their great abilities as well in the process. Despite that, Darkwater began training himself, literally prompting himself to become more worthy, more stronger, more powerful, more formidable. He trained himself in archery, bow and arrow, marksmanship, and in agility and in endurance as well. Hand-to-hand combat, daggers, and hand grenade bombs as well, making himself the most formidable and deadliest assassin by any means necessary. At the age of 14, Darkwater completely successfully arose to the occasion as he began his first mission as an assassin. In doing so, he was hired by the alien criminals of the galaxy in order to kill, and remove their greatest competitors out of the way. And Darkwater was hired to do just that. He completed his assignment and his mission, and he completely sniped the alien competitors and the other alien criminal boss's competitor, and completely killed them, leaving no evidence or anything else of his existence, making sure that his assassination was well on point, that it left no mark or evidence that can easily trace back behind him except for his bullet. Despite that, he returned to his bosses and exactly told them that he has completed his mission and his assignment. And the alien bosses, criminals, were very, very pleased and successfully happy of Darkwater in delivering his end of his bargain and keeping up his end of the word. The alien criminal crime bosses of the sacred world and of the alien worlds paid Darkwater triple money, paid him triple golden pieces of money, and millions of them. To this point, Darkwater decided to use these golden pieces of money to finance his mission, and his reputation, and also to build on it, and also to build in it, and also to build in it, and also to create a manifestation of himself, of his reputation, to make sure it becomes the deadliest and most darkest reputation ever known and ever existed throughout the sacred world as well. During which at that time, Darkwater fulfillingly rose into occasion and killed many targets and many forces that pose a threat to his alien criminal crime bosses. And in doing so, he managed to kill off their top competitor, and the Four Nation Hunters realizes that Darkwater is becoming a deadlier threat to the entire sacred balance world, to the entire sacred society world, and to the rest of sacred existence. Meaning, in other words, he has to be successfully obtained, he has to be successfully neutralized and taken down. The Four Nation Hunters completely waged battle with Darkwater and completely tried to take him down. Darkwater gained the upper hand and completely successfully disappeared, and he was never again seen again after all within those years. At the age of 39, Darkwater began to stumble upon an ancient powerful temple which he decided to use as his base of operation, and he decided to modify it to his own use, where he can able to lay low and begin his own plans. During which at that time he was approached by the most powerful dark assassins and very powerful mercenaries who decided to become his army of assassins, and Darkwater was very completely intrigued and very much gratefully relieved that there's an army of assassins at his disposal which he can train. As well, during at that same time as well, a group of powerful dark magic users known as the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful appeared to Darkwater, stated to him that they could be partners in helping each other further their goals, and they saw plans as well. And Darkwater told the most powerful dark magic users known as the Seconds and the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful that he needed their help, and their assistance and their assistancy and their dark magical abilities in helping him conquer many known worlds, planets, and sacred nations, clans, tribes, and other planets and civilizations throughout the sacred universe and throughout the known universes as well. The dark magic users agreed that they'll aid him in his respective mission and goal as well, and they'll do whatever it takes to make sure he remains in power and in control as well, by any means necessary. And Darkwater was very relieved and very successfully pleased with this result, as the dark magic users accepted his request and he accepted their request. They decided to aid him and to remain as his loyal followers, and Darkwater was very successfully pleased with that. Literally very. On the 25th of January, when the power vacuum of the Shadow Empire, when the death of the original World Magic has created a power vacuum within the Shadow Empire, every other Shadow Empire warlord and commander secretly formed powerful alliances with ancient groups of supervillains, such as the Order of the Five, the Order of the Four, the Order of the Six, Order of the Seven, the Founders, Court of Nature, Sacred Five, Unholy Alliance, and the Galactic as well, to secretly supply them with destructive and more powerful technology. In return, these ancient secret societies will supply the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders with more worlds and with more planets and with more civilization that are under their sole control as well. During which at that day and at that same day, the Shadow Empire warlords exactly entered within Darkwater's ancient, powerful temple, and exactly reassured him that they'll become his associate and that they'll help him, that they'll help him and supply him with more powerful, dangerous, and deadly, highly advanced technology, highly advanced, uncontrollable, and destructive technology, as long as the Shadow Empire warlords remain his associate in his eyes and ears. And Darkwater was very relieved and very happy with the deal, and he decided that it's best to keep the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders very close to him, very quietly close to him, rather to have them against him as well, which he successfully agreed to that as well. On the 29th of February, on the 29th of February, when another power vacuum appeared again within the Shadow Empire because of the disappearance of the Universal Heroes. This time, the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders secretly formed their own factions, and their own secretive factions in order to take control of the Shadow Empire for themselves, and in order for them to conquering more worlds and more planets for themselves, and to laying waste and to destroying the Intergalactic Coalition in a process. The other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders still remain loyal to Darkwater as they continue supplying him with more dangerous and powerful technology as well. And he reconvened with them on his central headquarters of his temple, and the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders stated that there are more others of themselves who are willing to join forces with Darkwater. And Darkwater was very relieved to see that his army is growing, and it's growing in power and in very greater power. On the 19th of March, Darkwater began training his army of assassins in hand-to-hand combat, in swordsmanship technicians, in order for them to be prepared for war and for an all-out battle that they might exactly begin to partake as well. On the 15th of June, on the 15th of June, on the 15th of April, Darkwater and the rest of his airship fleet and battle cruisers began invading the great cities of the warlocks and druids and witches, and began conquering it and placing it under the sole control of Darkwater. Darkwater told the supernatural creatures and individuals and beings, inhabitants, that he has come here as a savior, and also as a shadowy figure leader, in order to guide the inhabitants to full control and to full liberation. That he wants them to lead themselves, and also to guide themselves, and also to reach out for their true power and for their true potential, to become more powerful and to become more invincible for themselves, to fight up against the Shadow Empire and up against the new Lord of Magic and his forces of evil, and up against the Universal Heroes, who are the ones who brought the destruction and the chaos throughout the sacred world and throughout the sacred universe. The inhabitants all completely agreed and praised Darkwater, and they decided to join forces with them rather to fight against them. In doing so, they managed to evolve and modify the entire city under Darkwater's image and under his full image, and Darkwater was successfully very happy that he managed to gain his own royal throne room within the supernatural cities of the warlocks, witches, druids, faithful, and warlords as well at the duration as well. Meanwhile, his power is rising. His dark power and his goal for conquest is rising higher than ever before, and so is his ambition as well. On the 20th of May, the Dark Druids and the Dark Seconds exactly wanted to show Darkwater of their dark experiments and powers and the abilities, that they managed to create a powerful dark machine that can exactly extract and absorb millions of magical energy and sources of magic throughout the magical worlds and civilization. And Darkwater wanted to see the test results of that machine as well. On the 14th of June, the dark magic users known as the Seconds, the Dark Druids, and the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful began combining the dark magic with the dark black magic with science in order to extract the magical energy from the other sacred magic schools, from the other sacred magic schools of the sacred magic dimension, which the inhabitants of the magical warlocks and fairies and witches decided to band together to fight up against this darkest threat, and the dark magic users in seconds completely decimated them and washed them away as they managed to completely gain control of the magical schools, of the sacred magical schools and worlds of the civilization. And the machine began extracting and absorbing as much dark magic, as much powerful magical abilities and magical powers from the magic crystals and all and everything else within its duration, within its rate of power and within its duration. And Dark Water was very relieved and very successfully happy that the inhabitants are fully under his hypnosis control, and he ordered them to make sure that they fall under his control, and orders that they must protect the dark magic crystal and everything else within it. And the inhabitants mercilessly bowed to Dark Water and to his followers, and they successfully agreed to do that as well. And they created a giant statue of him within the middle mountains of the sacred magical dimension, to make sure to show the rest of the magical beings and inhabitants that Dark Water is in power and as well in control of everything, and to show and demonstrate his power and worth as well. On the 20th of June, Dark Water remained within the central headquarters of his Crystal Dark Temple until the Shadow Empire warlord exactly told him that the Intergalactic Coalition and the United Heroes are making a full positive impact and difference throughout the sacred universe and throughout the known universe, which is changing many minds and hearts. Dark Water exactly reassured the Shadow Empire warlord that everything else is under control the way it's meant to be, and that things will fall into place one way or another. On the 29th of July, Darkwater began accessing the ancient secretive archives, began accessing the secretive ancient archives of the most powerful ancient dark creatures and beings that ever lived in ancient times, such as the King of Darkness and the Shadow Witches and the Shadow Sisters, and also the Fire Sisters and the Fire King, and also the great dragon lords, and also the great dragon lords and the dark dragon witches and the dark fire sisters as well, which he began to learn more about their descendants, which began to learn more and study more about their descendants and about their powers and about their abilities, which meaning that Darkwater himself can able to harness those powers, and he can successfully able to learn about those powers as well. On the 5th of August, Silverface approached Darkwater within his central headquarters of his temple and exactly offered him a place within his organization known as the Order of Darkness, that works on the behalf of an ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Founders. And Darkwater gladly accepted the proposition and also the deal to join forces with Silverface and his organization, which he believes that his resources will be very fruitful and very needful for his greatest goals, for his goal, and also for his conquest. Silverface shook hands with Darkwater and stated to him that they hereby associates and partners, and that he does the work for the Founders and for the Order of Darkness as well. And he gladly reassured Silverface that his resources are also for the Order of Darkness and are also for the Founders as well. Meaning, in other words, that they hereby associates of the organization and also of these goals, and also the common respective conquest as well. On the 9th of August, Silverface held up a video conference with the members of the Order of Darkness as he began to tell them that the spy within the Universal Heroes has began exactly informing him of everything that the Universal Heroes are doing, and of the activities and of their plans and of the activities and goal. Despite that, Darkface was quietly present within the video conference, and he said nothing but a word in order to tell Silverface and the members of the Order of Darkness that he'll proceed with his own mission and with his own goals, and make sure that the Order of Darkness and the Founders remain in power and remain in control over the sacred universe and over the known worlds by any means necessary as well. On the 15th of August, Darkwater remained within his central headquarters of his dark temple, as he continued to meditate secretly, as he began to seriously unlock the mysterious power of shadows and darkness at will, which he was so very, very intrigued and very much enlightened that he can literally teleport, that he can literally create that he can literally teleport through shadows and move through shadows at will, and that he has a power of manipulating the darkness of the shadows and the power of the shadows at will completely as well. On the 15th of September, Darkwater and the rest of his mercenaries were assigned in order to wipe out the Four Nation Hunters on their reconnaissance mission on the other worlds and civilization, which they gladly ambushed the Four Nation Hunters and gladly fought them against and gladly took them on with the destructive and compatible technology, which they gladly began wiping them out and gladly taking them on one by one. The Four Nation Hunters were able to gain the upper hand as they were able to remain victorious due to the interference of the water heroes and of the universal space heroes who gladly intervened in the nick of time in order to save them from being destroyed, as the universal space heroes focused their entire attention on Darkwater as they completely battled him, and Darkwater completely disappeared and teleported himself he mysteriously teleported himself with the power of shadows as well in front of the Four Nation Hunters and in front of the Universal Space Heroes as well. On the 16th of October, Darkwater continued to secretly meditate through his ancient secret chambers of his secret dark crystal temple, where he was able to focus everything else he had within him in order to unlock the secrets of darkness and the secrets of shadow powers and the secrets of shadow abilities and powers at will, which he discovered he can personally exactly do that himself as well. On the 22nd of October, Darkwater secretly convened with the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders beneath his central headquarters of his crystal dark temple on the ancient caves, where they'll be able to meet up with the dark holograms, where they'll be able to meet up in the dark holographic shadow in the shadowy dark holographic holograms in order to conceal their identities, and they were able to speak in full secrecy about their plans and their goals, and Darkwater reassured his associates that everything else is going under control, and Darkwater told his associates they must pursue their goals and their plans in conquering the rest of sacred existence, and he gave them a direct order and a mission and an assignment to lay waste to the other worlds and planets of the alien worlds and of the superhuman worlds and of the supernatural worlds, except for the sacred magical dimension magic universe that mustn't be harmed or destroyed or to be laid waste, as he has great plans for that universe and for the other universes which will soon be under his sole control as well, as they all completely agreed as well. On the 15th of November, Darkwater began with the most powerful dark magic users known as the Seconds, the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful, as they began to telling him that witchcasters searching for a dark and powerful mysterious energy power known as dark energy spell power, which could alter and upset the delicate balance of power at any cost and at any means necessary. And Darkwater was successfully impressed and very, very happy with that, as he told his followers that they need to keep him informed in everything Witchcaster does and who she exactly speaks with and who exactly does what with her, in order to keep her in order for him to access the dark energy spell ultimate power for himself as well. On the 15th of December, Darkwater met up with Silverface on Sacred Valley on the central headquarters of the Order of Darkness's basis of operation within the island space, and they were able to speak as Darkwater reassured Silverface that everything else is in order and things are finally falling under control. And Silverface exactly told Darkwater that despite his ambition and his lust for power and for sole control of the other known worlds, he is free to pursue his own goals and with his objective, as the founders stated to him that his goals and his mission may be very useful for their future plans and for their future respective conquests and future goals as well in the far future, in the long-term future of this war. Darkwater even told Silverface, that the Universal Prince and the Order of the 12 are successfully rising and ascending in power quickly, meaning that the Universal Princess, who is successfully aiding the Universal Heroes, needs to regain her take her rightful place on the Universal Throne to prevent the Universal Prince and the Star Prince from becoming the sole rulers of the cosmos by any means necessary. Silverface told Darkwater to proceed with these goals of conquest, to conquer the Golden Universe, the Star Universe, the Mixel Universe, Over Universe, Light Universe, Sacred Universe, Light Universe, and Sacred Universe by any means necessary at an all cost as well. And Darkwater was very impressed as he reassured Silverface that that's exactly what he's willing to do as well. On the 19th of January, Darkwater began to convene with the Dark Witches of the Dark Magical Worlds, as he told them that he needs their help and their assistance, and that he can aid them with their respective goals and conquests. The Dark Witches successfully agreed, as they all exactly began to meditate all together within the sacred dark crystal shrine, within the ancient dark crystal shrine of witches and powerful dark immortal witches that ever lived many centuries ago, which is a secretive ancient headquarters that's been kept hidden for many centuries ago from all forces of good, from the forces of good and from the greater forces of good and from the heroes who are willing to locate them and find them. During the meditation, they all converged and shared their powers and their abilities all together as one, and Darkwater felt more powerful and more stronger and more immortal than ever before, as he told the Dark Witches that now they are hereby associates, aiding each other on their respective goals and mission. On the 15th of February, Darkwater convened with these associates and told them that everything else is going according to plan, and he created a huge hologram of all the universes he was about to conquer, as he told his followers and his army that they have a huge great goal for them to proceed, and a huge mission that they must proceed at any other cost, and that is for them to conquer the Golden Universe, the Sacred Universe, Mixel Universe, Star Universe, Over Universe, Light Universe, Robotics Universe by any means necessary, and to use those powers for themselves, to keep those powers for themselves, to make sure that they're in power and in control of everything. That in doing so, when the right time comes, the founders will reclaim those universes, and they'll be pledged under their sole control. Meaning, in other words, they'll remain the sole monarchies of the cosmos, and that will benefit him and his army and his empire of dark assassins and powerful dark magic users. And they all successfully agreed that it's time for them to begin with a plan, and that it's time for them to begin with the plan and to proceed with the next steps of the revolutionary plan, meaning it's time for them to proceed. And Darkwater was very relieved and very reassuring his followers and his army that everything is in place. Now is the right time for them to take their rightful places. Despite this, guys, Darkwater is very smart, very ambitious, very talented, very gifted in strategist, tactician, and very powerful. He's extremely immortal due to his own gravity. He believes that himself he's destined to rule the known worlds and the rest of the sacred worlds and the rest of the known universe, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to conquer it and place it under his sole control of his empire and of his shadowy dark and powerful empire of dark assassins and of powerful dark magic users known as the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful, who are his followers and who serve him very faithfully, and who follow his orders with great. He leads them with great authority, and they follow his orders regardless, no matter what. They are solely devoted to him. He has conquered many worlds and many cities throughout throughout the years, and he's managed to place them under his sole control. And some magical schools and magical worlds and planets of the sacred magic universe are secretly under his sole control as well. He remains as a powerful monarchy and as a very powerful leader, as he's able to combine technology and dark magic all together as one. And he's a very a powerful dark ability of shadowy teleportation, which he can teleport throughout shadows, which he can teleport throughout shadows, which he can teleport, which he uses shadowy teleportation to teleport at will. And he's very smart and very intelligent, very skillful in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, strategist, tactician, hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, strategist, tactician, marksmanship, agility, and endurance, and is extremely immortal and very powerful. He maintains his usual bases of operations, such as his central headquarters, known as his crystal, ancient dark crystal temple, as his base of operation, where he can secretly meet up with his associate and his commanders. He even joins forces with the members of the Order of Darkness to aid them on their respective goals, because he believes in their goals, and he believes in the Order of Darkness's goals to restoring power to the sacred world and to the rest of humanity and to the planet Earth, so that they can have sole control over humanity and over the planet Earth and over the known universe and over the sacred world and over the sacred universes as well, so that the founders may remain the sole rulers of the cosmos. And he believes that the founders are destined to remain the sole rulers of the cosmos, and which is willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that the Order of Darkness's goals bear fruit. He learns from his greatest abilities and failures to never underestimate the Universal Space Heroes, or the Universal Founding Heroes' abilities in thwarting his operation and successful plan, and he learns that he can never underestimate them ever again. And despite that, he's willing to take down the Four Nation Hunters and put an end to them once and for all. He was a very loyal subordinate of the original Lord of Magic many years ago, and he still is even now. Despite that, he views the new Lord of Magic's goals, and his plans to annihilate and to exterminate and as well to exterminate the supernaturals, aliens, and superhumans in the process as a threat to his future goals and to his future plan. And he's willing to conquer many more universes and many more worlds and planets and place them under the sole control of his new shadowy empire, and for himself as well, for his followers and for his empire, for himself. He has an army of dark, highly skillful, trained assassins under his sole control, who have been trained in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, intelligence, mission, and everything else. He's very great at disappearing and reappearing at will, and also very skillful in dark, shadowy teleportation, which he can teleport gratefully at will. He has mastered the powers and the ability of the dark arts, which he has managed to do so, and he forms powerful alliances with powerful dark shadow empire warlords and commanders to aid them on their respective goals and missions, which they also decided to aid him on his respective goals and mission. And he forms very powerful secretive dark alliances with the most powerful dark witches of the sacred magical dark worlds, in order to aid them in their respective conquests. Despite this, he believes in their goals and in their mission, and he always remains associated to the witches, to the dark witches, and also to the rest of his followers, and to make sure that his empire and the rest of his followers are highly equipped and are fully powered and ready to aid him on his respective goals. Despite that, he is willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that the founders and the Order of Darkness remain in power and in control over the sacred galactic conflict war that's been raging on for many centuries. He's been studying the ancient texts and knowledge about the King of Darkness, who is an ancient being, and which has been so obsessed with these powers and his greatest abilities in manipulating the power of darkness and shadows at will, which the King of Darkness formed a very powerful ancient secretive alliances with the most powerful, deadliest dark witches known as the Shadow Witches, which Darkwater has been able to learn, throughout the sacred ancient texts of his own books and archives that he's been able to study from. Despite this, he's very ambitious, cruel, ruthless, intelligent, very skillful, very strategic, very powerful tactician and a strategist, very clever and smart, extremely immortal, and very dangerous and deadly. According to the Four Nation Hunter database, Dark Water is not meant to be underestimated, as he's lived in a sacred world, as he lived in a sacred world and villages for many years, and he has killed off one of the greatest, most powerful alien politicians throughout the alien sacred criminal world for many years, and he's not meant to be underestimated. He's a very good sniper and a very deadliest assassin and mercenary who's not meant to be underestimated. He's very determined and he's very merciless, very cruel, and very patient with his foes and enemies, and he learns never again to underestimate the universal space heroes and the universal monster heroes' abilities in thwarting his operation and his successful plan. Despite that, he's very powerful and very dangerous, as he's willing to use the dark powers for himself and for his followers and for the rest of his empire and for the rest of his army and for the rest of his dark army of assassins to become stronger and to become highly formidable against the Shadow Empire, so that he will finally rule the rest of the cosmic force, to rule the rest of the cosmos, so that he can become the true monarchy of the sacred universe and of the sacred world, so that he can become its true monarchy and leader. And once that happens, he will unleash chaos than ever before. And that is his total plan. He's willing to create sole universal domination and universal domination by any means necessary. He has conquered many known worlds, cities, planets, and civilization throughout the years, and he's managed to do that in one fell swoop. He's extremely intelligent, very resourceful, and very powerful and deadly, not meant to be underestimated. Well, guys, that's it for today's episode. I will exactly see you tomorrow on next week, Monday. Take care, enjoy yourself, have a blessed, wonderful weekend. I'm very grateful for your support. Like and subscribe, and have a blessed, wonderful weekend. God bless you all. Take care. Bye.